I'm sure all of us are very eager to do our charity mission now. And next up, we have a very important talk by our sister Lisa Chong and our sister Lian from Singapore as well. And they are also very senior volunteers, and they have also been to Sri Lanka as well to help with the Sri Lanka missions for many years. So they are going to share with us about care recipient support and record keeping. So let's invite Sister Lisa and Sister Lian.
Okay, now can hear me? Okay. Hi everyone, brothers and sisters and master of the abode. I'm Lisa. Now just now we listened to Brother Andrew's presentation. Okay, he is talking about the care and support we give to the care recipient. But with all the work that you do, you need to document. Okay. Now today I'm going to talk about three documents. There is home visit report, progress report, and case review report. Okay, with all the work that you do, and you keep a record, you know why record keeping is so important, right? Because every week you visit the care recipient once a month. Okay, so different month might be different volunteers go and visit. So it's important that before we embark, we go into the recipient house, we need to know what is written, okay, and then what is to follow up. Because sometimes like this month, I went to home visit, I say that, oh, next visit, you need to follow up on certain things. So only with the record, you read the record, then you know what to follow up, okay? Then, okay, and then just now when Brother Andrew's presentation, he showed us a lot of pictures, especially in Sri Lanka. Okay, so all these pictures that taken is in our record visit report. So the record is also for teaching purposes and for future reference. And another thing, when after a few years of giving aids to the recipient condition might improve, then we close the case. But maybe a year or two later, the same recipient might come and ask for help again. Then we can refer back to the report and see what did we do, what help did we give during the past years. Okay, so this shows that proper record writing is very important. Okay, now every case, now we go to the first one. Every case we do, there is a index number, right? So to show that this year 2022, the first case, second case, and all that. Then we know throughout the whole year how many cases that we have giving help to. Of course, different countries might have a different way of doing the index number. Okay, and then when the recipient comes, we will usually ask, after interviewing, we ask what type of scheme they want to apply for. Like, for example, in Sri Lanka, we have living allowance, living materials, transport fees, medical costs, and clinical investigation, or medical consumables like milk, a diaper, and all that. And then, of course, family with young school children, they might want tuition fees. And if any of these are not in the list, then you can put in others. Okay, some might want to help with the renter. Okay, and recipient particulars is very important. We need the full name, and of course, whether male or female, and their date of birth. And important thing is the date of case opening, because we need to know how long they have. This date, we know how long they have been helping the case. And then if the recipient has phone number, we need to write down, and then the address and the area. Usually in Sri Lanka, we always want to know the address that recipient stay, is it near to our office? Okay. And then family particulars is also very important. Okay, some families, they might have a mother and father to support, and they have also young children to support, and if the recipient is the only caregiver and income breadwinner, so we need to write down all these things. Okay, how much is the income and all that. Okay, and what does he do? Okay, I know some country, because of the PDPA, you don't have photos in the case report, but in Sri Lanka, we do have asked to take a photo of the care recipient because, as I said before, different volunteers might go and visit this case, and with the photo, they will know that, oh, yes, this is the recipient that I'm visiting, okay? And they might not, because especially like us foreigners go to Sri Lanka, to us, they all look the same, okay? But with the photo in the case note, then you know, oh, this is the one that we are going to visit. And the next one is the family tree. Family tree is a big subject, so I will not go into length to explain, but I just point out to you the square picture that you see, the square symbol that you see represent male, and the round one represent female. Okay. Then the first two is father and mother. Then down is the children, boy and girl. But of course, I'm not going to great depth into it, right? Today, maybe the next session we can go through this. Okay. Now, when we step into the recipient house, we want to know the house type, whether it's a own home or rented place, or the house is made of bricks, mud, or a hut house. Okay, some house there are some recipient living condition is very bad. They might just have a hut to live in, and if it is an own house, how many bedroom? Okay, and the living environment is also very important. Okay, the recipient house might be very far away from the main road or just beside the river. Okay, and then whether it's clean or well taken care of, or the house, the roof is broken, or there's no window, or we also need to see the garden. Okay, whether they have fruit trees, coconut trees, or they do any cultivation of vegetables. Or sometimes the window, they only use a plastic to cover, or there's no door, and I just put a plan to cover it, okay, because that shows that the recipient is really in need of help. Okay, so all this living condition is also, okay, we need to look into it. And then the recipient condition. Okay, so this is to our assessment. Of course, just now Brother Andrew also point out about the assessment. Our volunteer has to be sincere and pleasant, and the voice tone must be soft, and of course, people can hear you. And our presentation is also very important. You go to home visit with full uniform, uniform, either it's blue and white or gray and white, or non-volunteer without uniform, you wear suji vest. Okay, so we have to be very calm when we go and do the interview, not like a policeman. Okay, then you ask. You can see for yourself the recipient physical condition, whether he is paralyzed or able-bodied person. And of course, you ask about what the recipient doing, what job is he doing, whether odd job or how much roughly he earns per day if he's an odd job worker. And then, of course, when you go to do home visit, you have at least 3 or 4 volunteers together. So one volunteer will go around to the garden and have a look at the garden. Another one, of course, with permission, go to the kitchen and see the kitchen, whether there's enough food, whether there's rice. Some volunteer houses that we went to, they don't even have any single grain of rice in the kitchen. So they show that they're literally living from hand to mouth. Okay, so, and some family might have fridge. Okay, you say, oh, this family is very rich, but maybe the fridge is only for display. There is no electricity. Okay, so all this that we have to look into it when we do the assessment. Next, come to the health condition. Okay, in Sri Lanka, everybody has a health book. Okay, and the health book will record what health condition that this recipient has, whether he's a diabetic heart condition or epilepsy, okay, or then the medication that he's on. Okay, we also check the medication because some people might not know. Of course, when I go and do visit, I always check the medication because some patients might have expired medication and they're still taking it. Okay, and then of course, if we can, we try to see that the report and see anything we can help further. Okay, and of course, some patients, some recipients are very talkative. They talk a lot, and some are very shy. You have to keep poking, and then they can tell you. But of course, we shouldn't be in a hurry to try to get all the information during one's interview session. Maybe this is through the months of progression, intervention, integration with the recipient, then only you can get better outcome. Okay. Then of course the need assessment. Okay. We usually ask the care recipient, what sort of needs you need from us? Mostly they'll say, I need food. Okay, I have 5 children to feed, but my earning is so little. We don't have enough food. So that's very simple. Okay. In Sri Lanka, we give all the stable food like rice, flour, oil, lentils, coconut. Then, of course, how many members in the family, we will give accordingly. Okay, of course, if you are single, we give 5 kilos or 10 kilos of rice. But if you have a family of 6 to 8, maybe we give 20 kilos of rice. All that. Okay. And then, of course, financial situation, that will be the total income of the family. Okay. Because some family might have financial help from other organizations or from the government. Then we will know how much to give. If they have help from other organizations, that means they might not need our help. But of course, we have to do the income and expenses later and to assess whether they need our help or not. Okay. And of course, during the interview, we also come to know about the recipient or the family strength and their capability. Okay. Because like some recipient, he might be physically handicapped, but he still want to work. That is his strength, right? He still want to do his best to support his family. And some might have school-going children. The children, despite of the heart condition they are in, they are still very good at studies. So perhaps we think that, oh, this is very good. Perhaps we can help them a bit more to help the children, because you see, Brother Andrew just now just said that education is the way for the children to grow. And then that is the way they walk up from poverty with education. Okay. And then, that's it next. Okay. Income and expenses. Oh, yeah. And the recipient aspiration and future plan. Usually when we ask, the recipient always say that, I want to get a better job so I can support my family. And the children will say that, perhaps I need tuition. Maybe you can help me to go to tuition school so I can get better marks. Then I can go to universities. Or sometimes the recipient might just ask, my bed is broken or my mattress is broken. I need a new mattress. I need a new bed. Okay. So, yeah, after of course, we can go further by asking about the income and expenses. So I go through with you. Usually we ask about the salary and they will let us know how much is the income. And then any financial help from other family and friends or financial organization. Or sometimes these days insurance is so common, they might have insurance to pay. And if house is rented, there's rental house, electricity, water bill, handphone bill, and then living expenses just like food, how much they spend on food per month. And of course, transport, like school children, they need bus to go to school, and medicine, because in Sri Lanka, though medical is free of charge, but certain medication they still need to buy from outside, so they might need to spend quite a lot on medication. And then children, they might have tuition fees, and some might have debts, and of course, with these income expenses, we will know whether there is a surplus or deficit. Okay, so with this, we will know how much to give. Whether if we give living expenses, we know how much to give, or if we give living material like rice and all that, you know how much to give. And the volunteer will make a remark whether they want to open this case or not. And then, of course, name of the volunteers is very important. And okay, the date. And then, of course, after the report is written, you submit to the office. And the person in charge of the office will approve or not approve. Okay, if not approved, then you have to go through a series of meetings to come to a conclusion. And just now you saw Brother Andrew show a lot of photos. So every photos that you take, you must have caption so that we know when where this photo is. So this is an example of the where you can insert the photo, and then the follow-up report. So every visit, you have to document, of course, the date, who is the one go for the home visit, and you write the report. And there is any further photos, you just write, insert the photos. Okay, so two forms that I spoke to it, and now is the review report. Review report. So we do 3 monthly or 6 monthly review, or as when necessary. Same thing, the name, address, and visited by who, then the assessment. Okay, of course, we write down the initial assessment, why we help, whether, for example, this one, he need help because of sickness and low income and all that. Okay, and then the main income is from who? Sorry, there's a repeat in the main income, whether it's from recipient, from parents, from spouse, or from children. And then come to main changes. Okay, if there is no change, everything is no. Family member, no addition. Number of working members, also no change. Salary, no change. Financial aid, no change. Everything is no. You continue. Usually we propose continue the same help. But if there is a yes somewhere, then you have to do the income and expenses. Like just now I spoke with. Further down, yes, proceed to income and expenses. Then we will see whether there is any surplus or deficit again. So if there is a deficit, maybe we can help further. If there is a surplus, then you propose to close the case. Further up. Okay, yeah. So we always write what is the current help and propose help, and then whether to change further or to close the case. Then, of course, Sri Lanka Suji office will approve to close the case or not, or to continue the case. So every 3 to 6 monthly review, you have to do this. Or if you want to close the case, you also need to do a case review. So okay. So we just don't close the case without doing a review, because to be fair to the recipient, and as I said just now, for record purposes, so if you don't do a case review, and then 1 year later you pick up the case, you say, why you close this case? Don't know why we close this case. Of course, if there is a review report, you will know that, oh yes, the review report said that, oh, he has found a good job and there is a surplus in family income, hence we close the case. Okay. So then after that, we close the case. We say we close the case, but we still follow up with the care, because he might earn, past two months, he might have good income, and then suddenly financial problem, or maybe he falls sick again, right? So you have to continue the case. Usually we give a grace period of 2-3 months before we finally say bye-bye. I will see you. Or hopefully you can become our volunteer, come and join us. Okay? And not just bye-bye and forgotten about you and you forgotten about Tzu. Okay? Okay, that's my talk. And then we follow up with Sister Chwee Lian. She will show you a case example of the case report that I just explained to you.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning, and everybody. I'm Chwee Lian from Singapore. Yeah, as Lisa has said, case report is really important. And I have one example here. This is a case from Hambantota, where we were helped from the, this is a complete report from the initial visit until we close the case. This case is, initially he was asking for living materials help. He's a male, 47 years old when in 2020. He's living near Chwee village, which is about 5 minutes walk from Chwee village. And this is actually a new developed area where the government built some of the houses for the poor people here. Okay, okay. So this case actually, he is an orphan. That's why when this is Mr. Sampa. We took a picture for this, and because that is during COVID time 2020. That's why he has to put on the mask, but at least we still can recognize him from this picture. And this family tree, both parents passed away, and he's an orphan, Okay, then his house type. Can you go further up? Housing type, he's living in a single standing small house given by the government near Chwee village, and the house actually has a bedroom, living room, and a kitchen, and there is water and electricity connection, which has in Sri Lanka. Why we mention this, because some of the houses in the jungle or near the jungle might not have water or electricity connection, but there is no toilet and bathroom facilities. So what he do when he need toilet? So he usually goes to the jungle, or go to the bushes, for toilets, So the assessment that the volunteers in Hambantota did, that was in September. He's 47 years old. He was under probation care since he was a child. Probation care, that means he's in an orphanage or any homes. Okay, he's doing odd job now and then. Most of the people not giving him job because his poor health condition. Later we'll talk about his poor condition. Now he's living alone in a house. Okay, then even with his poor health, he's trying to earn some money, do some labor job, and to earn some money, about 4,500 rupees per month. So looking at his health and psychological conditions, he's an epileptic patient since he was a child. Then he has a heart condition. That's why he has a pacemaker implanted. Then he's also suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, and also asthma. This is quite common in Sri Lanka, actually. According to the doctor's advice, he cannot do strenuous job. Of course, with his condition like that, he cannot do very strenuous job, due to his poor health. And then he goes to for his medical checkup. He go to Hambantota General Hospital every month for follow up and take medicines. But some of his medicine has to buy from outside because the pharmacy do not have it. So it costs around 3,000, but he always does not have enough money to buy. So then there's another his health history, because his gender partner was injured in an accident, and because of that he don't want to get married. Okay, so when our volunteer do the initial visit, they notice that the container in the kitchen were empty, and he has not cooked any food that day. Okay. Yeah, I've opened up. So need assessment. So Mr. Sampat requested assistance in living materials, as most of the time he's short of food, because later we can see the income. Then financial situation, as he's alone, so he's only earning about 4,500 per month, and there's no other family helps. And then the 4,000 income also not stable, depending on his health condition, also depending on whether people want to take him, give a job to him. Then there's no financial help from any organization. Okay. This is recipient family history, like family strength, or his strength and capability. Though he doesn't have any sibling, he also is an epileptic patient and with many conditions. But he's still trying to do some labor work to earn and to support himself. So he hopes that for the family aspiration and future plan, he hopes to have a toilet and a bathroom facility, so that he does not need to ask permission from the neighbor to use their toilet or bathroom. Sometimes maybe toilets can go to the jungle, but bathroom he cannot. Maybe he go to the riverside, but it's still sometimes he has to ask from the neighbor whether allow him to use a bathroom. This is quite common actually in Sri Lanka. We have a few cases of this. Then volunteer advise him to seek help from local authority, because sometimes the government might help. Maybe he doesn't know how to get from the government. So our volunteers say maybe you can get from the local authority to help see whether can build a simple toilet for him. Further up, please. So from the income and expenses, his salary now, his income is about 4,000. Then electricity bill. Can you go further up? Electricity bill is about 300. These are rupees, and then water bill is 450. This is quite common, quite common, quite normal in Sri Lanka. And living expenses on food is for 4,000. But his medicine, he need about 3,000 for his medicine. And maybe sometimes he earn more, he will buy more. But if he earn less, he buy less. So there is a deficit of about 3,000 over for his income and expenses. Yeah. Further down, please. Further up. Okay. So this is there is. Yeah, there's the short. Okay. Criteria for opening. So this is the team that visited the care recipient. They have written this, just now as I mentioned. So this is a summary of this condition. So they decided. So the team suggested to open the case by providing living materials. So these are the living materials that we provide him: rice, dal, oil, wheat flour, and chickpeas. These are staple food, and then these are all. It's got carbohydrate, and also got fat, and also got protein. So that is quite balanced. Then for the vegetables, he can. In Sri Lanka, it's quite easy to get, or he might pluck some of the vegetable outside. Okay. Further down, please. Okay. So the name of volunteer visited here: Udani, Dilushi, Henry, Pushpa, and Sita. I think today they are in the training also. Okay. And the report was written by Udani. And there's also another column saying family members who participated in the session. None, because he has no family members. So the follow-up by Chwee office is after discussion. They say by Colombo office is approved. Okay, so agree to help the team suggestion, but review after 6 months. Okay, so this is approved by Arusha in October 21st. Okay, so these are the some of the picture that was taken. Yeah, this is a small hut. Yeah, simple, small, and then you can see the interior of the house. Yeah, quite simple, huh? And then our volunteer are doing the talking to the patient, to the recipient to get more information about his condition. Further down, further up. Okay, so these are some of the letters that which they can gather some information there. Further down, and then there is also a medical record. Okay, further down. These are all in Sinhala. Okay, these are some of the medical, the follow-up report that he in his book. It usually is a normal exercise book. So when he go to see doctor, he has to bring this and with all the X-ray whatever. So this is quite this is a common practice in Sri Lanka. So the doctors will write here what are patient, what are medicine, and what are the findings here. Okay. So after that we have follow-up visit. So October, so follow-up visit, and then further down. Further up. Okay. So after 3 months, they because during the COVID condition, they are not supposed to go to the house. But anyway, they do delivery on the doorstep, and then also giving the during that time they also given. There's a distribution. They also given the rice for 10 kg, and then also some powder, some spices, chili powder, and all those things, so that he can cook the food. Otherwise, he cannot go out to buy. Okay. Okay. So these are the example of all the follow-up. And then in February, okay, remember in the initial visit, there's no toilet, right? So we asked her, the recipient, to go and ask from the government, but in the end he can't get any help. So so he finally come ask Chwee for help. So actually our Hambantota volunteers has start, they want to give this care recipient New Year gift, because during Sinhala New Year's is in April 13. So that is in February. So the volunteers started, finally they come to Chwee to request to build a toilet for him. So the Hambantota volunteer stepped forward to help him. Okay. So further down. So on February 28, on February 28, Hambantota team started to buy the materials, and then they started to go to the place, and then they use about 1 month to build the toilet, because they need to wait for the cement to dry, and then they also have to do the plastering and everything. Okay. Very important, but they didn't request any fund from Chwee office. What they do, how they do, they go around and tell friends and neighbors to collect money to buy the materials. So this is community, so inspire everybody to help the needy in the community. So this community, community love, so that everybody is helping each other. Okay. So this is a much review. Okay, further down. Yeah. Okay. So further down, that there's a after the toilet we have built the toilet. Also, one, because of his low income, then one of our volunteers also helped him to find a job in an Ayurveda hospital. In March we did a review, so we still continue helping him. So after, can we go up? Can we further down? Okay. Okay, we continue to help this guy after the review. So okay, in April. Okay, in April here. Okay, in April, the toilet is already built. So he told this is a repeat story of the before the toilet was built. So this is some pictures on how they build the toilet. You see, they buy all this, the sewage tank, or they dig the hole. And then also the recipient also help. He goes to the forest and to chop some of the woods for the building. And then these are our volunteers doing doing day and night actually. Okay, for the construction. They also get nation help and neighbors help also. Okay, so these are some of the picture which they have done a PPT. Okay, so you can see that is the toilet, and then you see our volunteer is fixing a toilet, flushing toilet for him. And though the toilet is very small, but at least it serves him a lot of purpose. Yeah. And then you see the recipient are very happy together with our volunteers. Okay, this is a really Sinhala New Year gift for him. Okay, then after that, after in July, he actually started work in the Ayurveda hospital. So his income, he earns about 18,000 rupees salary. So we did a review, a case review, and then suggest to okay, you can see the case review. We did income. Okay, with the help of one of our volunteers. Sangchi. He has got job from Ayurveda hospital in Hambantota, and he has started to work in July, and his monthly income is 18,000. So currently he's able to earn sufficient income. So his recipient is very thankful to Master and all Chwee volunteers for their support during his heart condition of his life. So also volunteers suggested, at this time, all his problem have been solved, as with his income. So the volunteers suggested to close the case. So before they close the case, they did a very complete report, closed case report. Yeah. Okay, further down. Okay. Yeah, this you can see the income. He has a surplus of 9,006. So this from the beginning with the living materials, and then building the toilet during the COVID, we still do regular care, regular visit with him, and then in the end, so we suggest to close the case because he has he is able, whatever he needed is already fulfilled, and then so Chwee volunteers are happy with his current situation and told him that we will close the case for this month, and then also they also invited him to become a volunteer to help others. So this is a complete story of a case from the beginning, initial visit to the following up, and then we found how we help him in the process. Then in the end, it's a happy ending for this for Mr. Sampat. And we hope that we can see more picture of him coming to become a volunteer. So Hambantota volunteer, please please really invite him to come, and we have some record of him. Okay, I think he's I think this is so-called teaching the rich to help the poor, and teaching the poor to inspire their love. And also from this case, in summary, we can see that initially the recipient have not enough food, so we give the materials, living materials, then later we help him. Even we know there's no toilet, but we still ask him to ask for the government help first. And if nobody helps, then Chwee will come in and help. Then in the end, we even find him a job. So then for building the toilet is to come to help. The donation is from the neighbors and friends. This is community spirit to inspire help of each other. And from the volunteer side, I think it's besides inspiring the community help, also they also do a very proper record of this case, from the beginning to the end, and also in the end, also invite him to become a volunteer. This is continue a cycle of love. Okay, thank you so much. That's my presentation.
Okay, 感恩 Sister Lisa and Sister Chwee Lian for the wonderful sharing, and a great job to our Haban Tota volunteers in taking care of Mr.
Sorry. I have a video to show.
Okay.
The toilet building. Sorry. Yeah.
爱的接力不分男女，要为桑帕斯圆一个愿望。
ඒවට ප්‍රතිකාර කරා. ඊට පස්සේ මාතර මහරෝවල අධිකරණ මගින් ගාල්ලේ රුහුණු ළමා නිවාස, කොග්ගල නිවර්ත නිවාස, හික්කඩු සහතිකල පාසල හැදී වැඩි ඇති අවුරුදු 18ක් වෙනවා හිටියා. ඊට පස්සේ මම ඇවිල්ලා තැන් තැන් වල ඇවිල්ලා වැඩ කරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ
从小在孤儿院长大，好不容易攒够钱，有了自己的房子，但每回上厕所都是一大挑战。
පාසුකමක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඔව් කැලේට තමයි ගොඩක් දුරට යොදාගෙන තිබුණේ. ඒ නිසා වන සතුන්ගෙන් තිබුණ කරදර නිසා සුචි සංවිධානයේ තීරණය කරගත්තා ඔහුට ආරක්ෂිත වැසිකිළියක් සකසා දීම
So the
සඳහා.
volunteer decided to help him to build a toilet. Not only a toilet, also bathroom.
踩着一只也坚持付出，
This is a volunteer who has,
大伙儿日以继夜赶工，只为让苦难人早日放下心中大石。
Yeah.
大爱新闻乌迪尼斯里兰卡报道。
Okay, this is a happy ending of a case. Thank you so much.